The Apple Vision Pro is finally on the market, and a lot of people are asking themselves the question, which is actually better, the Quest 3 or the Apple Vision Pro? That's exactly what this video is all about. First of all, I'm very happy that people are once again discussing about VR. I mean, even Mark Zuckerberg, the guy who brought the Quest 3 to the market, made a video comparing the Apple Vision Pro to the Quest 3. To no surprise, of course, he said their product is superior. But we're still not talking about the price performance here. We are expecting that the Quest 3 will be better. It costs about $550 with 128 gigabytes, while about $3,500 is being asked for the Apple Vision Pro.
That's expensive.
I think we can all agree that from a price performance perspective, the Quest 3 will be better. But he's just plain blunt, and I think the Quest 3 is generally better in most of the things VR is used for. Heading on to the comparison, let's start with the image quality. I think that's probably one of the biggest advantages of the Apple Vision Pro. The resolution is much higher, and it's an OLED screen, so the image quality is just much better. When it comes to pass-through, I also think that it's very clear that the pass-through on the Apple Vision is much better, thanks to better screen and better cameras. The Quest 3, on the other hand, has real problems. There is a wobble effect when you move your hands or something over the camera. And also the camera. I don't know who uses that. I mean, who takes pictures with their VR glasses? But if that matters to you for some reason, then the camera on the Apple Vision Pro is also way better than that of the Quest 3. And now we're slowly getting to the aspects where the Quest 3 might not be so much worse or even better than the Apple Vision Pro. Please note that the price difference is huge. The first thing is comfort, and that's something that almost everyone agrees upon. The Quest 3 is so much more comfortable. It weighs 120 grams less, and every gram counts when you have a VR headset on your face. And you know what? Although the weight plays a lot while the Vision Pro is uncomfortable, the main reason is really the weight distribution since everything's on the front and you can easily feel that. And while it's the same with the Quest 3, it's still lighter than the Vision Pro, which ends up with around 10–30% less force in your face. Then another thing, FOV, or field of view. The Quest 3 is also better than the Apple Vision Pro in this regard, which is a shame. I think they could have done better. Surely they have their technical reasons for it and the image quality and so on, but still, I think they could have made the FOV bigger. And I think they intended to do this so they could say they have an improvement, quote unquote, if they increase the FOV just a bit more. And now let's talk about games. VR headsets, in my eyes at least, are currently mainly used for entertainment and how you can entertain yourself better with videos and games. And here the Quest 3 is clearly ahead. The game library of the Quest 3 is just so vast at this point. The Apple Vision Pro just doesn't offer anything close to that as of today. Of course, the Quest 3 is an older device lineup, which is normal, but I can imagine people looking for games and getting disappointed after not seeing much despite them paying thousands of dollars. So there's still a lot of content missing here, and that's why it's a huge plus for the Quest 3. Then another thing, the controllers. The Quest 3 includes them in the box while the Apple Vision Pro does not. But it does have that magic hand tracking. Again, when I consider that this is a $3,500 device, I can't help but feel disappointment. And it's not like hand tracking is new. The Quest 3 also has hand tracking. Opinions are a bit divided because some say the Vision Pro does it better since it technically has lower latency. But when it comes to gaming, the hand tracking on the Quest 3 just feels better and snappier. As you can see on this direct comparison, the Quest 3 can track your hands even if you shift it around very quickly, while the Vision Pro feels and looks a bit sluggish. But what works pretty well, at least as of today, is eye tracking in combination with hand tracking on the Apple Vision Pro. You'll immediately feel and see the difference even on the home menu. It all works much better than that on the Quest 3. It's not a hardware advantage, but a software advantage. Yes, the Quest 3 has hand tracking for your controls, but it's not as refined as that of the Vision Pro, where you can control everything just by using your hands and eyes. So here's a huge plus for the Apple Vision Pro. And it's not just a bit funny since both devices are good at one thing, but terrible for the other. And now let's talk a bit about working in VR. I find that both headsets can't do it well enough, but the Apple Vision Pro does it much better, especially if you're an Apple user. I mean, if you have a computer from Apple, you have a cell phone from Apple, you have a MacBook from Apple, and if you add the Apple Vision Pro to this ecosystem, then it all works pretty well. You just need to enter your Apple ID and you're basically good to go. This ecosystem is something the Quest 3 lacks. Using the Vision Pro, you can wirelessly connect it to your MacBook and have virtual monitors, or if you like, you can ditch everything else and the Vision Pro will still work quite well as a standalone device. Although I think you should at least connect a keyboard because typing in midair doesn't look that fast and comfortable. As of today, you simply can't work in the Quest 3. It's not powerful enough to handle as many things as the Vision Pro, and its spatial awareness is just not as good as the Vision Pro, where you can just leave the room and go back and have the same things in the same places. Don't get a Quest 3 for productivity. I think you should instead use that money to invest in a good computer, or perhaps get yourself 2 or 3 extra monitors so you can work much better. And ultimately, that's how I have to compare the Apple Vision Pro as well. If you don't have this Apple ecosystem, then I'm sorry, but with a budget of $3,500, I can buy multiple monitors, a really powerful PC, and a lot of other gadgets that will cost less overall than Apple's VR headset. I don't think that the price-performance ratio works out on this, despite it working okay. Not great, not bad, just okay. But let's consider some niche use cases. Imagine you're someone who has the financial means. You're rich, and $3,500 isn't a big deal for you. You're on a really long flight, let's say 12 hours to Asia. For you, the Apple Vision Pro is probably ideal. You likely also have other Apple products, so you can work on the plane in peace without the other people around seeing what you're doing. Plus, powerful laptops are bulky, and that's where the Apple Vision Pro could be the solution you're waiting for. But who does this apply to? 0.01% of the population, I would say. And finally, let's go back to the price briefly. For the Quest 3, that's $550 for 128 gigabytes, and that's the cheapest way to get to the Quest 3. Keep that in mind. And now let's take a look at the Apple Vision Pro purchase options. Firstly, Amazon. I can't find it on Amazon. Okay, I didn't expect anything different. That's often the case. Then let's take a look at the website. Well, you can get it there, but you have to use an iPhone to get your eyes scanned to get the best fit. And I just can't trust that. I think the best way to get it is in an Apple store where they can measure everything out for you and you can try it out for yourself before actually dropping your college fund or your kid's college fund. And if you're watching this outside the US, then you probably can't even get it aside from resellers who will sell it for double the price, which is a ripoff, needless to say. So that's of course a huge problem. And the Quest 3, as I said, offers so much more for your money. Another thing, if you want entertainment, you can simply use the Quest 3. It's got just about everything covered. You don't need the Apple Vision Pro, even if the screen is better. It makes no sense to me to spend so much more money. The only people who should get the Apple Vision Pro are people who really want to work with it, those who can actually offset that cost. And they can combine that with the Apple ecosystem. Then that makes a lot of sense for them. But even then, if you watch our Vision Pro impressions video, you know that I think it's destined and meant to fail. And if you're an early adopter, as we call it, do you think it makes sense to drop $3-4 grand for a first-gen Vision Pro? Personally, I think it makes no sense at all to buy the Apple Vision Pro. Get the Quest 3 or even one step further. If you tell yourself $500 is too much for me, that is totally understandable. And if you just want to get into VR somehow, isn't there an alternative? Yes, there is. You can currently get the Quest 2 for under $300. And I think that's exactly where the line is when I'd say it makes sense to get the Quest 2 if you don't have the budget for the Quest 3. I'm not going to go into why this is better or that is better. I just want to say if you want something truly affordable, just get the Quest 2. If you're willing to pay a little more, get the Quest 3. Both QR codes are displayed on the screen right now, but sadly, there is no QR code for the Apple Vision Pro. But of course, you can go to the Apple Store to learn more if you're interested.